I worked on Meliator this semester. It's a from the ground up new traffic simulator. Why? Traffic jams really suck. Who's ever been in a traffic jam before? Show of hands.
Never.
Has anyone ever enjoyed being in a traffic jam? Wrong.
Depends on what music.
I suppose that's true. But there are other reasons other than not enjoying it. The traffic jam suck. They're a waste of fuel. They're a waste of time. Time costs money. So being able to do everything we can to kind of alleviate that problem is a benefit for people everywhere. Of course, that kind of the existing traffic simulators out there are largely closed source. There are a couple of nice open source ones out there, but they kind of focus on the macroscopic model, which is that all people behave exactly the same on the road. And the problem they try to solve is the one with designing of the road. So how can we make roads bigger? How can we kind of expedite the flow of traffic from one location to another? But the problem can also lie in the behavior of drivers. And my project partner and I, we did a lot of research on trying to find certain documentation, some research that's been done on that to figure out the best way to go about this project itself. And we decided to start from the ground up with a bit of a more behavioral model. So the goals of the project as a whole is to simulate changes in driver behavior. So one person might be a very aggressive driver. The speed limit might be 60 and you'll see him doing 90. And then of course you'll have someone on the other opposite end of the spectrum, someone who will do 40 in the left lane. You'll be behind him the whole time on I-87 going up. And you get all different kinds of people, and every intricate change can result in traffic jam. Just the slightest bump. Someone doing 40, someone aggressively driving, someone swerves and tries not to hit a deer, and you get traffic backed up for 20 miles. This is trying to investigate what kind of changes can be made in behavior to affect a change in road traffic. So the goal is to build to simulate those changes. We're looking to have a non-technical design interface. We don't want this to be a program for city planners and for people who have their PhDs in civil engineering. The goal of this project is to be available to you, the person who's frustrated at being stuck in traffic. And we'll give it a certain degree of technical modularity for the more technical people out there who might know a thing or two and might want to improve the project and import their own classes. The progress we've made so far, it's from scratch, so a lot of what has been accomplished has been on paper, but in code we've designed the core classes and the core functionality, command line debugger, so the basic ways of testing implementations as they improve. We have code for a GUI. It hasn't fully been implemented yet, so I don't exactly have something very pretty to show. The short-term goal, so if people are looking to join a project, we need to do threading because the more cars you add, the more time it takes to process. So we're looking to kind of support the project a little bit. There are some outlines on how we would like it done, but a little bit difficult to explain in a 5-minute presentation. Of course, implementing said GUI, and basic AI, because that's how we're going to represent changes in driver behavior, is through a little bit of artificial intelligence. If that's your interest, then there would certainly be room on this project to bring in some of those skills. And of course, special thanks to the usual suspects. Are there any questions? Yes?
Have you thought about anything to deal with 95% of the population that can't merge?
There are, in our README, we have a bunch of links that there's actually a nice article. I believe they were talking about. The short answer is yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Is road rage going to be built into your model?
Simply put, yes. It's going to encompass a bunch of different driver behaviors. That some people might just be speeding. Some people might want to hover behind the person ahead of them. We factor in stopping distance in terms of time. So. I believe the golden rule they taught us in driver's ed was you should be at least 3 seconds behind the person in front of you. There are, of course, people who will be willing to hover 1 second or even less. It's handled mathematically. The only question is building modularity. Yes?
How was the updated live? Was there user input or?
There will be. It will be built in. It hasn't been there yet. The command line iterates once per unit time based on your input. Yes. Yes.
How do you see people that aren't city planners using this?
Mostly, it's the idea was crowdsourcing to figure out, for maybe not necessarily a city planner, that changes in roads are obviously expensive, but changing your individual behavior is something that you can do. So perhaps someone who might be curious and might be frustrated might be figuring out how they might be able to change themselves to make traffic a little bit of a better experience. Yes?
Do you have like special agents that might influence other agents? So for example, if you have like a cop driving in like the right-hand lane, going the speed limit, that the fact that nobody's here to pass them.
I haven't thought about that one yet, but it's certainly something that can be included. Any other questions? Thank you.